Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much, buddy, for taking time out of your night and coming on.
Absolutely. It's my absolute pleasure to come on.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So, like, the first thing I want to say, because I don't want to say your name wrong. It's a very long name with a lot of letters in it. So, if you could say,
Give it a shot. How about you give it a shot?
oh my God, really?
It's always interesting to see how people pronounce it. So
Jedidiah?
nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Anyhow, okay.
Jedidiah Goodacre. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it like, but I was like, I don't know if he says it a different way. Okay.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people try it Jedidiah, but no.
Oh, really?
Jedidiah, yeah. I think maybe in a different language, maybe that's how the pronunciation would be, but no. Yeah. That's how I say
it. Sweet. But I'm really looking forward to this. Like, the first time I saw you in something, I was a big fan of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and
yeah.
I loved your character on that show, and I remember I tried getting you while the show was filming, and they were like, "No," but I'm happy I got you now.
Well, I never heard that, so you didn't get a no from me. I'm glad it reached me this time, and I was able to say yes. So.
Exactly. So like the first thing I want to start asking you, probably, a question that probably gets asked a lot when you're doing this is when did your passion start to want to act? Like, what drew you to it?
I used to watch a lot of movies. Like, I grew up in a very small town, and we had I grew up in the 90s, right? Like before streaming services and everything. And we had like 7 channels, and every Saturday they would have a run of I don't know, like 7 different movies, and they were usually like old action movies with like Bruce Willis or Sylvester Stallone or something like that, or Wesley Snipes. And so I don't know. I just always thought like it was very like maybe kind of stupid of me to think this, but I was like, what's so special about what they're doing? They're just out there saying these lines. They got all makeup on them and stuff like that. I think I could do that. It was kind of just very crass of me to think that, but I always just thought like I can get up in front of people and be a fool and make people laugh or something like that, and I'm okay ending up with egg on my face. So I think an actor was like the perfect kind of job for me too, because I was always starting jobs, quitting jobs, starting school, quitting school, kind of thing. And it's acting is just a perfect thing for my ADHD brain to just really focus on one thing for a short period of time and then move on to the next. So yeah, I don't know. It started probably when I was like 7, 8, when I was watching those movies, and I was like,
yeah, exactly,
trying to reenact them around the house and stuff like that for my family, and everybody was like, knock it off, get out of here. So but yeah, ever since then. But I never really took it seriously until I was in my early 20s, and then I kind of dropped out of engineering school, and decided to pursue my dream of acting, and this is how it's gone so far. So I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you've had some really great roles in TV shows and stuff, and yeah, you're definitely doing good. I'm glad to see you left the engineering for acting.
Thank you very much, man. I don't think I would have made it very long in that. So just built for me. But yeah, I'm very lucky with the jobs I've gotten and the people I've met so far. So everybody's been awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. And I also saw, like, besides acting, you also used to play sports too, right?
Yeah, I used to have an illustrious sports career in my day, but it's been a long time. I'm still very active and stuff like that, but it's been a while since I've played organized sports.
Okay.
Thanks for the throwback. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I played pretty much every sport under the sun.
Wow.
Like North American sports at least. And yeah, it was just like every summer that was the thing to get me out of the house and stop me from bugging the rest of the family. So yeah,
Okay.
go out and play golf, go out and play soccer, baseball. So yeah.
Nice. Do you watch any sports now, like on television and stuff?
You know what? Like I used to watch hockey a lot because I
Oh,
grew up. I'm a Canadian kid, so I
yeah,
grew up
yeah,
with a
that's
lot of
right.
hockey. Yeah, and but I kind of grew out of that, and I, I don't want to. I watch a lot of MMA now. Like that's
Oh,
pretty much the only sport I follow because I do like jujitsu classes and stuff like that, and different MMA classes. But I don't know. It's kind of the only sport that I really watch. I really like the build up, and it's very
mhm.
similar to acting, and the characters that they kind of portray in the build up to it, and then the final clash. I just have so much respect for the sport now after getting my butt kicked so many times from people that I thought would have no chance against me, and they just end up I wake up a minute later and oh, that's how it went. So but yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the only sport I follow right now. Yeah.
That's yeah, like they really fight in that sport. It's
Yeah.
brutal. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a big like wrestling fan, like pro wrestling, like WWE and all
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
like the MMA is like that's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, WWE stars, they're no slouch either. They have a tough job, lots of injuries and stuff too.
Oh,
And
I know.
I grew up watching a lot of like Stone Cold, who was
Yes.
right in the heyday of The Rock, the People's Eyebrow and People's Elbow and stuff. And
Yes.
when I was really really young, it was like the tail end of Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
then the Undertaker, who can forget the Undertaker? Kane, Manchild, yeah, that it was, or Mankind, yeah, that was that was awesome. Yeah, I still follow it every once in a while, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, mostly all of them are like done now. Like the last one left of that era was Tate Taker just retired, but like
yeah,
he was the last of that era. Like he was still going strong.
yeah. He had that big run at WrestleMania and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No one
historic.
ever beat him
Yeah, yeah,
e-
man,
except
classic.
for Brock Lesnar. That was the first one to beat him.
Yeah, you know your stuff. You know your stuff.
Yeah.
I won't challenge you on any WWE trivia.
And, I saw like you actually got to work with a lot of different stars like Christian Slater, Rob Lowe, Zendaya. Like how was it like working with all these like like top people?
Well, I'll talk about Zendaya because I got to work with her closely, the most closely, I guess. And she was so cool right from the get go. This was like way back before Zendaya became Zendaya. Like she
Mhm.
was already her. She was already Zendaya. Like she carried herself that way, and that's why she is who she is. But it was on a film called, oh my goodness, name of that film. I just know my character's name was Trip,
Okay.
and anyways, it was a very funny film, and she was great to work with, and at such a young age, I think she was like 17. Yeah, she was 17 years old at the time, and her lovely parents were there with her and stuff like that, and they're awesome. I forget their names, but they're awesome. And she had such a cool, like, just the way she carried herself. It was like she took over the room when she came in.
Mhm.
And I had no idea who she was. I didn't know anything about Casey Undercover or anything like that when I met
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
So it wasn't like you know, I was starstruck or anything like that. She was just a very cool human being and very good at her job. And yeah, I guess. And then the other people like Christian Slater was like, he was in and out of that movie really quick. He was only there for I think 3 days, but I mean,
Okay.
I got to meet him, got to shake his hand. And then Rob Lowe, same thing. It was like just a quick hi, how you doing? But both of those guys, I got to watch them. That was
Oh,
a
okay.
really cool thing. I got to like sit behind the monitors and watch them on screen, and got to really learn, I guess, from two pros very
Mhm.
early on in my career. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've just been so lucky with all the people that I got to work with so far. Yeah,
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
awesome.
And I
And
just noticed. Sorry, man. I noticed the background there. You got the crow
oh,
on
I
the.
love The Crow. Oh yeah.
Love the Crow movie, man.
Oh my God, yes. Like
Yeah,
my
you
favorite
know,
movie of all time, hands
yeah,
down. Like I absolutely,
man,
I could watch that like every day and
yeah.
not ever get tired of it.
R.I.P. to Brandon Lee, of course.
Yeah,
But
I know
what a
exactly.
awesome movie, man. I grew up. That was one of my like favorite movies. It's still one of
Yeah.
my favorite movies. But like
Oh my,
I remember watching that one like
it's
20
just
times.
classic.
Yeah, yeah,
I
dope.
I mean, you have Brandon Lee in it and Bay Ling and Tony Todd, and it was just like
You know your stuff, man. You know your stuff. I love it. I love it.
well, being a big horror fan too, like Tone, Tone, Tony Todd is in like so many horror movies, and Bay Ling too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess there's some notable names for you for sure.
and I was like I was looking online, and I saw something you said, like there were like three actors that that you like a lot, like you looked up to a lot, and it was Lucas Till, Boo Boo Stewart, and Charlie Carver. Like are they friends of yours,
Yeah,
or
I worked with
work that?
all three of those guys. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were really cool guys, and I can remember all three of those guys. I remember like because I come from a sports background, right? I'm very
Yeah.
competitive too. So like first thing I meet these guys, it's like all right, firm handshake, you know, let me show you what I got, kind of thing, or whatever. Just a bunch of ego stuff. But once that got out of the way, I was able to like watch how they worked, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh man, like I don't know, because acting for film is so much different than theater and stuff, right? So, and I guess I would say I come from more of a theater background based. I don't really have much of an education in film or TV or theater or anything, but I would say it's mostly theater. So I remember watching these guys and being like, "Oh man, you're really underplaying this. Like, come on, up the stakes here." But sure enough, I watch it back and I got behind the monitors and I saw what they were doing. It was like
Yeah.
working, it was so good. And I just learned a lot from those three guys like very early on in my career. And it really stood out to me as like moments where I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta like really learn some things, and it was yeah, it was cool. So thanks to those three guys.
Oh
And
wow.
Boo and
Okay.
Boo Boo's still like a really close friend.
Oh
And
really?
I saw that you had him on your show.
I did. I
And
did.
yeah,
He's really nice. He is.
he's
He's a
such a
really nice
cool
guy.
guy, man. And he's like maybe the nicest dude in the world. So yeah, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so glad that he's really taking his art to the next
Oh,
level.
definitely.
Yeah, because he's so good. He's amazing, amazing artist.
Yeah, he does it all. Like when
Yeah,
I interviewed him, it was about the songs, his
yeah. About his music.
like
Yeah,
new song,
that band,
and
honey.
yeah, exactly. So he's like doing it with acting and music.
Yeah, man, he's super cool. So
Oh
shout
yeah,
out shout
definitely.
out to Boo Boo and that
Yes,
band, honey, and that band, honey.
and,
You
and
guys, you
that
guys
band,
rule.
honey. And one of your roles, like it became such a huge role for you that you did it in numerous films. Like how did you prepare for Chad Charming?
How do I prepare for Chad Charming? Well, the people that know me best, they might watch those films and just be like, "He didn't have to prepare at all. That's just him." But I was so lucky with the writing was so good for my part. It was so funny, and then working with Kenny Ortega at the helm of all three films, um, like the dance sequences were huge and awesome, and so hard for me to learn because I'm not a dancer, and
Oh,
I like, oh, I had to spend countless hours after rehearsals to like with a friend of mine, Zach Gibson, to help me, pick up the choreography and stuff like that. So it was super hard doing that. But then when we got into the acting scenes and the comedic stuff, it was so fun bouncing off of Kenny. He's a really really funny guy. I love him to death, and everybody else like um, Cameron Boyce was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
awesome to work with. He was so funny to work with. This kid was like next level talented and everything, just like Boo Boo, you know.
Hmm.
And he was so funny to work with. So I really cherished the time that I got to spend working with
Yeah.
him. And everybody else on that film was great. But I didn't. I don't think I had much to do to prepare for it. I just kind of got thrust into it, and I, just like I am in everything in life, I was just riding the wave. But that one I had a pretty good surfboard, and it was a pretty good wave, so
Well,
it was
yeah.
fun.
Like
It was pretty fun.
you played Chad in all the films, so you definitely were doing something right.
I was doing something right. They didn't recast, so I was doing something right. All right.
Right.
Yeah. And they brought me back for all three too. There's a two,
Right.
they could have
Exactly.
just
That's a
said,
good.
"Ah, Chad graduated," even though Chad probably didn't graduate. Let's be honest, it wasn't too bright.
and, um, and of course, as you can see, like I'm a big fan of like horror and horror shows,
Yeah,
and I saw like a couple horror shows that you were in, and you played Roman in Legacies and the
yeah,
Originals. Like, was it the same person?
yeah. It's the
Okay,
same character. So
so
first,
Roman. Okay,
I played Roman Sienna in the originals, and that was a super cool experience as well. I got to go down to Atlanta and work there, and thanks to Julie Plec and CW and stuff like that for picking me for that role, because that was one of the bigger jobs I got to do at the time, and it was just awesome to meet people like Joseph Morgan. He's such a special, cool dude, man. Like you're just like every time he speaks, you're like hanging on every word. Um, and he could just be like reading a menu or something like that. But he was really cool. Another person to learn from, to watch behind the monitor. And it was just a super cool to get into that whole vampire world and to
yeah.
learn everything about that stuff. I remember the first day I was on set. I'd done my homework and stuff, but there was obviously some stuff I'd missed about the vampires, and I totally blanked on this one because I knew it, but I blanked on it. You know how you have to be if you're a vampire, you have to be invited into the house.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right. So I blanked on that and I walked right into the house. And everybody, there was like an audible gasp. You know what I mean? We're rolling and everybody's like, what is he doing? And I was like, looked around like, what did I've done something stupid. So they were very helpful at, getting me hip to all that stuff. And it was just a really cool experience. And then to come back onto Legacies with a whole new cast, but still the my scene partner, my constant scene partner in that was Danielle
Mhm.
Rose Russell. Right, she was super cool to work with. Just another young actor that was just way ahead of me in maturity. Like I'm much older than her, but she was like, I felt like I had to be on my best behavior around her and stuff like that because she knew what she was doing and I didn't. And so I was very happy that they gave her that show, Legacy. She deserved that,
Yes.
and
Yes.
uh, and it's a super cool show and everything that they've done with that. And I was just glad to be back for another couple of episodes and pop in there for a little hello goodbye. And that one was super cool. Sometimes I get I've done a lot of like that kind of like vampire
Yeah.
kind of like elevated reality kind of stuff. So it's always fun. Yeah.
And speaking of like vampires and stuff, and the the chilling adventures of Sabrina, and how did you um how did you wind up getting in involved with that kind of world?
I just honestly, uh, I what happened? I came back from filming a movie in Ireland, a movie called Finding You. I came
Oh
back from
yeah.
that, and then they reached out and asked me for an audition tape for Dorian Gray, and I thought, wow, super cool because in film school, my final project was to do a scene, a theater scene as Dorian Gray. So I was
Hmm.
like, oh wow, this would be super cool to come full circle and get the job and play him on TV on this super cool show. And so everything worked out in the audition, and they picked me for the part, I guess, And I remember doing the audition the first time with an American accent.
Oh
Like
really?
I don't know, it doesn't say anything. Usually, if they don't specify an accent, then I just go with general. And then they kind of like came back to me and was like, "What are you doing? He's do a British accent, you dummy." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah." And so I did another take, and luckily that one worked out. And like, there's been a lot of like fumbling through things in my career, but
Yeah.
it's been a fun time for sure. It's been a fun time. I'm glad certain things worked out. But then I got involved with that, and right from the get go, like the wardrobe on that show was so cool.
I
Like
know.
so cool,
I
man.
know. I
Like
loved
the
it. I
suits
loved
I
it.
got to wear were like
Yes.
out of this world. And I'm like, I'm not, I got paint all over my pants and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a guy who like dresses up. So when they put me in these clothes, I was like, man, this feels nice. And I
Yep.
have to wear some jewelry for it and stuff. And to work with, people like Kieran Chipka, Chance Paradomo,
Yes.
who I'm forgetting. He played what's his name? Come on, tell me his name. Richard Coyle. Richard
Oh
Coyle.
yeah. The
I
one.
can't believe I was like biffing on his name there. But he was the coolest, man. He's an awesome dude. Like he's a
He.
guy you want to go have a beer with or whatever, coffee
Oh
with.
wow.
But he's a super fun guy and one of those actors where I remember the first scene we were doing. I was behind the bar and I had
Yeah.
to give a speech, right? And I remember it was my first day on set, and I have this big monologue. I'm like choking up. I do it in front of everybody. I'm just like, screw it. I got to go for it. And I go for it and do it out loud and stuff. And then, but I feel like I'm like yelling just to get myself heard in this huge room.
Mhm.
This is a massive room, and there's lots of people in there. And then I finish mine, and then it comes like 30 seconds later. Richard has a monologue, and he's speaking like so like softly, and it's just filling the room as if he's like an opera singer or something like that. And I was like, whatever you're doing, man, I gotta get on some of that. So but he's a really cool dude. And Kieran Shipka, yeah, she was awesome. She carried the show, and a lot of times shows are, the attitude on set or the vibe on
Mhm.
set is created by that person at number one, because they're
Yeah.
very very integral to it. They work so much on the show and they do so much for the show, and it can be such a stressful position, but she handled it so well and was like
Oh yeah. She did.
the hap she was the happiest person on set every day, and just killed it. So yeah, that was a special one. Yeah, love doing that. I got to be a bartender again too. I
I
remember
know.
I worked as a bartender for 3 months, and I was
Oh,
terrible, man. I didn't know how to make any drinks, and I got fired because I wore jogging pants one day to work, and they were
oh
like,
my God.
"Get in." So yeah, that was another cool part. I got to play a bartender, and all my friends were like, you don't know what you're doing." So yeah, it was pretty fun.
That was such a great show. Like I was kind of I was I wanted it to last longer than it did, because every season was great. The storylines are great. The actors were great, and I was kind of disappointed when they decided to end the show. But I loved your role, your character, because every every time you were on, like you know, you have that bar, and but just like your presence and the way you just like looked at everyone coming in, and you always had like that special way, like when you were on, you had to watch, like you your character was like drawing.
I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that.
Hmm.
In a cast full of people that are I would say the same thing about. They are all very enigmatic people and characters and stuff like that, and they draw you to them. But sometimes shows that have they make when the actors are too good on the show and there's too many of them. They see other jobs coming, and it's hard to turn down on a job when your dream is to do all these different things in acting. But yeah, I'm the same way. I was sad to see the show go,
Yeah.
but it was such a cool show. Each part of each season was so different from the last,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and yeah, just the creators of that one were brilliant, and yeah, everybody involved was awesome. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. And just recently you were part of another show. Was it the um in Imperfects?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
What,
man, yeah. That show is really cool. It's
that was a
another.
fun show.
Yeah, yeah, it was super fun to make too. I've worked with the people that created that show a few times, the creators of that one on a few other shows, The Order and something else. But they're such fun people to work with. A guy named Dennis Heaton. Dennis, if you're out there, if you're watching this, hilarious. I love you, bud. But he's amazing, and he's kind of I think he's like the creator of those shows, like the main guy. He is the guy with the ideas behind it all.
Hmm.
Um, and I got to play such a fun character on that one, like a bassist for a band. We got to actually perform in front of a crowd and stuff like that. And I play slap a little on the bass.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
so I was up there like jamming out, and of course I lose my pick, right? But the show must go on. So I'm like going crazy, and it's a punk band, so I'm like strumming as hard as I can playing the song. And the bass strings are so thick and stuff like that, and they cut my finger. And so
Oh no.
by the end of this one take, we do like it all the way through and stuff like that, and like cut. And I was like, oh man, and it's all over. There's blood all over the guitar, like all over my finger, and they were like, "What are you doing, Jed? Like you're not even the main, like you're kind of almost in the background of this shot. You didn't need to. You could have faked it. You didn't need, I was like, no, I don't know. That's kind of the kind of actor I guess I am. I go too far with it or whatever. Kind of like really enjoy making it like real to me, like that kind of thing. So that was just a funny thing that happened on that show. And then everybody else to work with on that one was great too. A lot of local people in Vancouver,
Okay.
and yeah, it was super cool. So I got a chance to work with uh, somebody I'd worked before, Morgan Taylor Campbell. She was she had the hearing. She played my girlfriend in that
Oh
movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so we'd worked together on a movie before and played kind of boyfriend boyfriend, girlfriend in that as well. And it was so cool to see her so many years later, and to get another chance to play a different style of relationship with each other. And she's such a professional actor, and like very, very good at her job and very on top of things. And I am such a child in a sandbox kind of thing, you know what I mean? So our dynamic really, I don't know, I feel like it was very fun, and I hope it worked on screen for people. And yeah, just everybody involved with that one, I couldn't say anything bad about. It was just so much fun. I got such a big smile on my face, like talking about it. Yeah,
I know exactly.
yeah, like like all the crew members and stuff like that were local Vancouver people, and we all just got along great. It was so much fun. So yeah.
Nice. So when you're on set for these amazing television series, what do you like doing between takes?
Going to Crafty, man. Do you know what Crafty is?
What's that, jokes?
So Crafty is the best thing in the world. It's this little station, and the Crafty people, I love Crafty people. They're the best. Everybody's the best. Everybody on set, each person on set has a very important job. Each job is as important as the next. On set. When you're working on it and stuff like that. And so the Crafty table, I'm gonna let you know a little secret here. The Crafty table, if it's a good one, has like everything you can imagine in the way of snacks. You want to go there and get a bag of chips, they got it. You want to go there and get a juice box, a soda, a coffee. You want to get a sandwich made for you. You want to get. It's just the best. You go there and eat snacks all day, and it's also because sometimes you go there and you're like, oh, all right, I've eaten enough. I can't be just stuffing my face. But I always eat so much. It's great. The food is so good. But it's a great place to like meet and talk to people, because everybody kind of like congregates at Crafty because they're going to like get a coffee in between takes or in between setups and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people standing around waiting for their order or whatever. Get to say hi and meet a lot of people, and yeah, just had some of the best conversations on set at the Crafty table. And yeah, so hanging out in the cast tent, like talking with the other actors, and doing that's a big thing. And it's different on every set. Like sometimes you just really hit it off with some people, and you're like, two peas in a pod, and
exactly,
everywhere with each other type of thing. And other times it's just like you sit around in a circle, and maybe the conversation isn't that riveting, and you get a book out and you read. But yeah, there's lots of different things to do, and depending on the film, like, and what you're doing, I might bring out some push-ups. Might do a little workout in between. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm like a kid in a sandbox out there. I'm just happy to be there. Couldn't upset me if you tried. And I really love the work that I do. So yeah. I don't know. Look at this. I don't even know what the question was, but but here we are. I'm such a rambler, and I'll go on like, oh, it's terrible. But
oh no, it's great. It's great.
I'm gonna answer yes.
Okay. And I see you like doing a lot of outdoor stuff. Like, are you more of like a camp and hiking guy, or are you more of like a beach guy?
Oh man, well, like the beach is outdoors too,
Well, yeah.
Well, but I guess I like both, man. I just happy to be outside. Happy to be outside. I got 2 dogs that are like awesome. Love my dogs more than anything in the world. Zuko and Spirit. And yeah, I'm just outside with them all the time and running through the woods, camping. When we can have campfires and stuff like that here, when it's not the dry season, then that's amazing. And floating down rivers, man. Like, I don't know what gets better than that. I
Yeah,
also love, like,
exactly.
don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of time on the couch watching movies because it's part of my job. But and I love movies. Like, I grew up on movies. A lot of times, like, I'll speak to my brother and we'll talk to each other in movie quotes.
Oh,
And
really?
everyone else is just like annoyed, like, come on, get over it. So yeah, I'm not equal parts. I'm definitely an outdoorsy person, but there's a lot of times where I'm binging shows or watching movies and stuff like that. So
Nice.
yeah,
Like I mean, you could tell Chucky's in the background and stuff. Like,
yeah.
are there any horror films that you like? I always ask like a question like this.
Well, Barbarian. It was a new
Yes,
one that just came out. Did you see that?
that was really good. That
That
was
was a
really
phenomenal
good.
movie.
Yes,
Phenomenal.
definitely.
Big Justin Long fan. Loved when he came
Mhm.
in there. That was like, oh, what a wild moment that was when he came on screen. Hilarious. Um, and what's his name? Billy Skarsgård is such
Yes.
a cool dude. And forgive me, but I don't know the female actor's name in that film, but she was phenomenal as
Hmm.
well. So, and just such a cool concept. And I just worked on a film. I don't know if I can talk about the film that I just worked on, so let me just keep that kind of under wraps.
Okay.
But they were the producers of this film that I just worked on were the same producers that did Barbarian,
Oh, really?
or at least two of them were, and so we got to like geek out because we'd just seen the film,
Yeah.
and we were all just like, oh man, like tell us everything about it and stuff, and it was cool to get the inside scoop and stuff like that, and yeah, I'm a super big fan of horror films and stuff. That's
Nice.
probably like the most recent one I've watched, but all time, like, I don't know if I call it like not a horror film, but like
Hmm.
maybe horror thriller kind of thing. Moon
Okay.
with with I'm terrible with names. You're gonna know his name. You know his name, right? Ah, no, Sam. I'm terrible. Anyways, the movie Moon. He's in Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Ah,
Yeah,
man.
I can't say I ever saw that. Like,
You never
if I
saw this
saw that,
movie?
no,
You never saw the movie Moon with Gertie?
no, no.
With, well, I mean, Kevin Spacey voices Gertie.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
yeah. But it's just a voice, so that's all right. I think it's a pass. It's an old movie, but it's a phenomenal, cool.
All right, I'll
I don't
watch it
want
then.
to say anything about it. It's such a mind twisting one. And what
Okay.
my probably like my top four favorite films of all time, top five. I don't know if that's it, but and I don't know if that's a horror film either. Like, this is like kind of like a dark, like suspenseful film is Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's not a horror film. I guess I can't call it a horror film, but I
Well,
love Donnie
I mean,
Darko.
it was dark though.
It was super dark.
Yeah,
But depending on how you look at it, it was kind of like beautiful as well. I don't know.
that's true.
I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I love that movie. And there's tons of other horror films that I just can't think of right now because I'm terrible on the spot. But well, what's your favorite horror film?
Me, I like a lot of the older horror films, like slasher films, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween,
Oh
Chucky,
man, now we're
Friday
talking.
the
Yeah, now we're
13th.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street. That was definitely one of the ones that came on Saturday afternoons back in the '90s on Channel 50. You know,
definitely,
uh,
definitely.
and all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres,
Yeah,
Children of the Corn.
they were good movies, weren't they?
Remember those
The
ones?
Children of
Or
the Corn.
remember
Yes.
remember these ones? This one really freaked me out because I watched when I was younger. Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, yeah. They
Man,
were
those
good.
movies were
They were
creepy,
good.
man. or the Gremlins movie.
The Gremlins, yo.
Yeah, that stuff was that. Yeah, they used to do horror, creepy back in the day. Like they do it very smart now, and
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit maybe better with the CGI or practical stuff. But man, there's nothing like those old horror films that are
I
just
know exactly. They're the ones I love. Yeah. I, I mean, like new horror films are good too, but like ones that I love most is like
yeah,
the older ones. Yeah.
yeah, the nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you were just talking about Bill Skarsgård. Like I saw he's actually gonna be playing. He's in a remade version of The Crow.
No way, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they
Really?
actually filmed like a new version of The Crow, and Bill Skarsgård is Eric Draven.
Man, he'll be great. He'll be
Yeah,
great
yeah,
in it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like really looking forward to seeing this.
That's really cool, and that's really cool that they're redoing that. It's such a good film and stuff, and it really deserves to be remade. Like
Oh my
they're
gosh.
doing a lot of remakes now, and everybody keeps saying like a lot of people I hear are like, oh, they never make anything new anymore. It's always remakes and stuff. But The Crow is one that deserves a remake, I think.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so yeah.
Just hope they do it right, because I love it, and I know you love The Crow too. So as long as they do it
Well, I'm
right.
sure it's one of those films where like if you like the movie and you've seen the movie and you really care about it,
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Because of everything that happened on set with
Well, yeah,
Brandon Lee and stuff. It's just I bet you the people involved are really making sure they do that one justice. So I wouldn't
true.
worry too much, and I'm excited about that one. I'm excited for it. So
Oh yeah, definitely for
right there
sure.
with you.
And what about songs? Like, what kind of music is on your playlist?
Oh man, you're hitting me right now. You know what? Like I'm terrible with music. I don't understand how people find new music. Like I'm so like simple. I'm so yeah. If I was gonna look for new music, I'd like go on Google and type in new music. Like what a dumb dumb. But so I get a lot of my just like randomly. I'll get turned on to like an artist or something like that, and my friend recently turned me on to I can't believe before a year ago I had never listened to Kid Cudi before.
Oh yeah,
But then
okay.
I started listening to Kid Cudi and I'm like, oh man, I'm the biggest Kid Cudi fan. Where was he back when I was in high school? Um, I was listening to like Metallica and Tool back
Oh,
then
of
and stuff, which
course,
I,
yeah, of
I still
course.
love, still a Metallica fan and Tool as well. But now I'm listening to like Kid Cudi's one. I just got turned on to Fred again.
Okay.
Uh, he's like a DJ, I guess, maybe artist. I don't know. I don't know. See, man, I'm so simple, but I love his tunes for working out in the gym and
Nice.
stuff. And I don't know. I love a lot of like old school stuff, old school music. Um, Not the biggest country fan, uh, but if I was gonna say Luke Bryant, my friend and I, we always make fun of Luke Bryant. We always, because his girlfriend watches what's the show he's on, American Idol, and he's always like, "Well, you're a pretty good singer over there, I mean, nothing. I'm not making fun of the guy. I love the guy. He's
Yeah,
super
yeah,
cool
yeah.
and stuff or whatever. But I'm sure I've never met him. But yeah, we always think it's so funny. Sorry, I got sidetracked again, and now I'm talking
It's
about
all
Luke
right.
Luke
It's all
Bryan's
right.
voice. Oh, geez, look at me. But I listen to all sorts of music, man. Like I just said I don't like country, but there's like some country tunes I definitely love, like Towns Van
Oh,
Zandt.
okay.
Love Towns Van Zandt. He's an old school country dude. Yeah, man. Like anything that like makes you feel something
Yeah.
or makes you imagine a story in your head or makes you want to move, dance, run, anything like that. Whatever the music does, it's got to do something to you. For me,
Exactly.
to like it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, why am I listening to it? Because
Exactly.
I'm also the type of person that I could be driving for an hour and not be listening to music, and
Oh
just
wow.
not even realize it. Like just to be driving for an hour, and I'm so like whatever. I don't know, talking to myself in my head or making a story in my head or like driving, I guess is what I'm doing. But yeah, so I'm kind of like indifferent to that. I love all kinds of music, but
Okay.
it's got to be something to it. You know, there's got to be a little
Well,
spice.
yeah, exactly. It has to make you feel something.
Yeah. Also, I've noticed I'm doing a little bit of I don't know, like a New York accent or something like that every once in a while. I don't know. Sometimes I'm doing that. It's not on purpose. It's just I don't know. So I just had to acknowledge that. So.
Okay. And I know you're big into working out and CrossFit and eating right, but is there any junk food that you like?
Dude, man, I don't know what people got this like weird because people say this all the time, like, oh, you're into healthy or something like that. Like, I am not a healthy eater, dude. I am so far from it. I would love to be. I would love to be, but I'm such a picky eater. Like, I'm like a texture eater. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's certain stuff. I remember like growing up, I didn't like potatoes, and
Okay.
and nothing against my parents, but like we cooked the whitest food ever, man. There was no spices on anything. Everything was boiled, whatever. You know, I'm not saying I had a hard done by. I was always fed, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was lucky. But we had potatoes, man. We had boiled potatoes, and they were like cut up whole slices, like big
Yes.
chunks of it or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, I could not eat them. I would like gag if I put them in my mouth. I love potatoes now though, so kudos to my parents for making me eat
There you
them.
go.
And I suffered through it, and now I love them. But yeah, man, I just eat like right now. I'm on a kick. Or I want to put on some weight, like some
Okay.
you know I'm getting older. I don't know if anyone's told you, time has passed and I'm getting older. So I think it's time for me to like ditch this like whatever childish swimmer's body that I have or something like this, whatever like Mr. Fantastic body that I got going on and uh and put like a man's body on or something like that. Whatever. It's nothing, it's not for anything. It's just because I want to see if I can do it. I've never been
Oh,
able to. I've always been like yeah. I've always been this thing that I am right now, and
okay.
I'm like, why don't I actually try hard in these things these areas that I really enjoy. And
Yeah.
so just lately, like within the last month, I've decided like, all right, we're gonna go for this. So next time you see me, I might not even be able to fit in the screen
Oh my God.
because I'll be here with Jack,
There you go. Okay.
right? Like we might have to go to the vet later because these puppies are sick,
There
right?
you go.
I'm sorry. My buddy told me that one the other day, and I thought I laughed so hard at it. Nobody's gonna laugh at that. so, so yeah. But I don't eat healthy at all, man. Junk food that I like, I eat a lot of like, man, junk food. I would say is like chicken fingers and burgers
Oh,
to me.
I
Like,
love chicken
man,
fingers. Oh my
like
God. Yes.
I'll dust so much food, and I don't understand how I am. I'm not so much what I don't know, like whatever bigger than I am right now because I eat so much food. And I don't know where it goes. I just got some kind of metabolism going on.
That's what it probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm not. No. Yeah. I have like a veggie greens shake that I
Okay.
take just to get my veggies in me and
Just to
stuff
get your
like that.
veggies in. Yeah.
Hopefully my mom doesn't see this, because we're worried, like, oh my goodness, he's just using his air fryer. Oh, that's all he's cooking with. And it is all I cook with is the air fryer. It's the best invention since the photocopier, right? Or like instant. It's amazing. That's not true. Insulin's way more important, but the air fryer, man. The air fryer is
those are some amazing things.
Yeah, you can cook anything in there. And
exactly, I know.
It's so easy for a guy like me that, like, I've never, I don't know. I'd be, if I was, did you ever watch Recess growing up?
Yeah.
Man, did you ever see the episode where Vince becomes the chef?
Yes.
And he smells the spices, and he's got no idea what he's doing in the kitchen, but he just, like, somehow comes together. That's how I would cook, man. I would just be like, just tossing it in, and people would be like, man, this looks like crap. And I'd be like, just taste it.
But it might look like crap, but it tastes good.
It tastes good, yeah.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And lastly is, where could fans follow you at?
Oh man, down the street. Here's my address. It's whatever, 3469. Never gonna follow me lane. No. No, but they can follow me. I really only have Instagram. I have Instagram and Twitter at Jedidiah Goodacre. Jedidiah Goodacre. Do you see the little Jedi?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing for you there. All the Star Wars, all the Star Trek fans out there. Where can they follow me? At Instagram or whatever. Sorry, I'm bungling this, aren't I? Follow me at Jedidiah Goodacre on Instagram and Twitter, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't really post anything, because I'm not a guy that, like, gets my phone out and takes pictures. I'm too busy, like, climbing on rocks or something like that. I don't know, so I don't have much to post. It's a lot of my dogs and stuff, but I'll get around to eventually doing a little bit more interaction with the fans, because I appreciate so much every person that clicks the little follow button there, and whatever, has kind things to say, or whatever, not kind things to say. I don't care. Just I'm the same guy I was in high school. I'm an attention seeker. So all the followers I can get, all the likes, all the comments, negative, positive, I don't care. I turned into, like, the whole pump there. Oh my goodness! Don't edit this out. No. But yeah, go follow me there for a picture every 3 months of my dog.
Okay. Hey, if people want to see photos of you climbing rocks and dogs, then definitely go check it out, right?
Check it out. Yeah, definitely. And if anyone knows how to help me with that stuff, like, help me be better at it, don't be afraid to DM me and let me know how I could be better, because I know I suck at it. So
Well, thank you so much for taking time out and doing it. This has been a lot of fun. Like, I really appreciate
it. Yeah, I appreciate this too, man. I come talk to you anytime.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, definitely. Like, anytime you want to come back on, talk about anything you're working on, I'm definitely down.
Sounds good, man.
Sweet, buddy. Well, definitely have a good night and good rest of the week.
Do these ones, or this one, or this one?
Oh, that's like the rock and roll thing, right?
That's the rock and roll thing. Yeah. I think this is like sign language for "I love you."
I think so. Yes.
To everybody out there, right? And then I think this one's just like the coolest thing you can do. So.
Right. Yeah. Like the.
Right on. We're out of here. Right on, man. Well, thanks so much for having me on the show. It's been so much fun, and it's been a
Yeah,
barrel of
man.
laughs. So.
Definitely. It was so much fun. Like I said, anytime you want to come back on and talk or talk about any film, TV thing you're working on, definitely.
Hell yeah, dude. Right on.
Sweet, man. Sweet.
All right, I'll see you next time.
All right, buddy.